Welcome to the Dr. Ed Show. I'm Dr. Edmund Sulkowski. You know, we are about health and wellness. We do not diagnose, nor do we treat, but we hope to inform and educate, to empower you to be in charge of your own wellness. You can listen to me live every Saturday morning on AM 1250 The Answer, 92.5 FM, and that's the Dr. Ed Show. You can hear us on Rumble. Our shows are all archived, iTunes, Spotify. We're out there. And you can actually watch this show on a number of websites, including YouTube. And we're here doing part 2 of the Dr. Ed Show with Dr. Joe Porreca, Dr. Gary Fieber, and Dr. Paul Arciero. And we're talking about your health and wellness through nutrition, your metabolism, your healthy gut, and actually supplying everything you need for your body to heal itself and be well. So I want to start off the show with Dr. Paul. And I'm going to ask you this question, Dr. Paul. What is the purpose of protein? What is protein?
The purpose of protein, Dr. Ed, is to nourish the body at the highest level of functioning. So what is protein? Protein is a number of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein.
Okay.
And so in order for us to form a protein inside the body, we need to have that whole complement of all 21 of those amino acids.
So that's something called a complete amino acid?
A complete protein.
Complete protein.
Yeah, it's a complete protein when all of those essential and non-essential amino acids are present.
Those are two terms I think you need to explain for the audience.
Yeah.
Because we don't realize what that means.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misconception about it. People feel as though all foods are created equal or all proteins are created equal, and they're not. There's a vast diversity and range of high quality protein. So we have what are called essential amino acids, and essential amino acids are those that we need to consume. So they're essential, that's where the name comes from, for us to consume.
So if we're not eating them,
right,
we're not getting them.
Correct. You need to eat them to obtain them and allow your body to form the complete protein. The non-essential amino acids are non-essential for us to eat. We don't need to eat them, our body can form them. Here's the challenge for most people though. When we consume poor quality proteins, it's much more difficult for our body to form healthy proteins inside of our body.
Because what happens when we consume a protein, our body breaks it down, providing that we have acid on our stomach, that we have digestive enzymes,
yep,
that our pancreas is working properly.
Your microvilli on your small intestine are doing its job. Yeah. You have trypsin and pepsin and some of these other hormones that are required for
all these things that need to be there. If all that's in place, and we break those down, then our body reassembles that protein, takes those amino acids according to what you need.
According to what's needed.
So if Dr. Gary ate the same piece of steak that you ate, his body would reformulate it differently.
Absolutely, based upon what his needs are versus mine. Yeah.
So that's important, because if we're not supplying those essential ones, then we don't have the complete amino acid complex.
You'll be limited in your body's ability to repair, rejuvenate, rebuild those structures that you have in your body: hormones, muscles, vital organs and tissues, brain.
Why is that important?
Yeah, I mean, it's an unheralded nutrient. Since 1970, when they started to come out with the food guide pyramid, right, and that debacle, since 1970, when they started what is called the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NHANES, that's the longest running and largest of all of the epidemiological databases on nutritional intake. What we have seen since 1970, Dr. Ed, is a massive increase in carbohydrate intake. I mean massive, and primarily simple sugar intake. So simple sugar intake since 1970 has exponentially increased. Fat intake has remained pretty consistent. Now the quality of the fat has changed. It's gotten a little bit unhealthier, but fat intake since 1970 has stayed pretty constant. Do you know that protein since 1970 has significantly declined in our intake as a population?
Yet we're getting those amino acids that we need from the protein.
We need them from those proteins, but we are depriving ourselves of that really high quality protein. So my point here is that as we've seen the obesity epidemic skyrocket, that has paralleled the increase in simple sugar intake, protein intake has actually declined. So we're a protein deprived or depleted culture.
So we're being deprived of the building blocks for health and wellness.
100%.
Okay.
And that message has to be made very loud and clear.
No wonder we're a sick society, huh?
Yes.
But we got a pill for that. We can fix that with a pill. So you use the word simple sugar, and that sounds kind of innocuous, simple sugar. But there's a difference because there's fructose and high fructose.
Right.
What's the problem there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So fructose is the naturally occurring sugar that's found in fruit. And why that's healthier for us is because when we eat a piece of fruit, we have lots of antioxidants. We have lots of plant chemicals, primarily in the form of what are called antioxidants. Those are what help defend our body against free radicals, damaging substances inside of our body. So when we eat fruit, you also have fiber. So when you eat fructose that's naturally occurring in fruit, you have all of the other wonderful benefits of the antioxidants and fiber and other nutrients.
You're getting vitamins, minerals. The fiber slows down the absorption of the sugar, of the fructose, so that you don't get these spikes in insulin and cortisol as a result of that.
Whereas opposed to high fructose corn syrup,
which is concentrated.
It's very highly concentrated. Yeah,
of course,
it's a drug.
That came from China, right? That's where it originated, high fructose.
Unfortunately, we've inherited a lot of bad things. But here, in this case, with high fructose corn syrup, we've mastered the production of it, unfortunately, and it's everywhere. And that's one of the primary culprits.
And sugar is not a nutrient. Sugar is not a nutrient.
No, there's not much to it other than energy. That's right. It's a non-nutritive.
So molasses is derived from taking cane sugar, and it's actually the minerals that might be in the cane sugar. Yeah. That's molasses. So if you're eating molasses, you're getting minerals at least.
You're having some of the benefits, absolutely.
But if you're eating white processed sugar, you're getting nothing.
You're getting energy, calories. Yeah, you're getting calories that are devoid or absent of those other healthy nutritional components. Yeah. And high fructose corn syrup is even taking it to the next level. Not only are you getting just a pure form of naturally occurring sugar, but you're getting it highly concentrated with everything else removed.
So in lies the problem.
Yeah.
So in your 38 years of research, you developed a program. And you have these awesome books. Now I have this one. At least I had it. I can't find it. I loaned it to somebody. I got to figure out who I loaned it to get it back. It's called The Prize Life. Mm-hmm. And in here you talk about something called protein pacing.
Correct.
So would you define to us what protein pacing is?
Yeah, that's great. Protein pacing is the right type, number one, of protein, so the right quality of protein.
Because all protein isn't the same.
It is not the same. No,
and
it runs
how
on
it's grown, raised.
Exactly. It runs on a continuum. Yeah. So let me give you an example of a poor quality protein. A single form of vegetable protein. Let's say that you're somebody who wants to just begin a vegetarian or a vegan lifestyle, and you want to eat just chickpeas, let's say. That's not a bad food source. It's got some other healthy nutrients in it. But in terms of it being a protein source, it would be considered a low quality protein source because it doesn't have all of the essential amino acids.
So you're not getting the complete protein.
Exactly. Now that was not such a good example of a poor quality because that has some other nutritional health benefits in it. But if you were to, for example, eat a conventionally raised livestock piece of highly saturated piece of beef like you would get at a fast food restaurant, that would be a poor quality source of protein. It doesn't really have a lot of other nutrients in it. It's got protein, but it's got so many other unhealthy fillers and additives. and preservatives in it, and it's been grain fed, so it's a poor quality. Whereas as opposed to a piece of grass-fed beef.
So how something is grown, whether it be a vegetable or an animal, how an animal is raised, and how they would eat naturally.
Correct.
Is how we want to eat it. So if they're eating grain, a cow should really be eating grass.
That's correct.
Chicken should be eating grass and bugs.
That's right.
If they're eating soy and grain, that's not something that is not natural to them.
That's right. And if they're being pumped up with a lot of
Hormones or antibiotics.
to enhance the growth cycle.
So that was a big thing with chickens.
And keep them,
they were herding them together.
Keeping them very sedentary,
and
force feeding them.
And they're getting sick.
And and pumped up with antibiotics.
In order to keep them from not getting sick.
That's right. And then growth factors to promote their growth cycle. So that's how we...
So when they get heavy, that's more meat so they can sell by weight.
Faster, yep, absolutely.
But all of that is nice for the seller, but bad for you because whatever that chicken is ingested, you're getting in its meat.
You are what you eat eats.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
you are what you eat eats.
Yeah. You are what you eat eats. So, going back to the protein, what we do know in terms of the protein pacing, it's the right quality, the right amount, and then at the right time of day. That's protein pacing. So it's consuming your first high-quality protein meal within an hour of waking in the morning, and then every 4 hours after that, and then the last one within 2 hours of going to sleep at night.
Okay, so breakfast you're talking about.
Breakfast, yeah.
Breaking the fast.
That's
because
right.
Overnight when you're sleeping, that's really a fasting
The body
state.
is undergoing protein degradation, breakdown. You're breaking down your protein stores.
So when you're fasting, as you sleep, your body still is absorbing nutrients, but at a slower rate.
Precisely, yeah.
And if you're not breaking your fast, it's absorbing you.
It will begin to absorb you, yeah. In fact, there was just I shared it with these two gentlemen, there was just a very large-scale published research study on 20,000 individuals, and it showed that those that were eating within an 8-hour window of time, we call it time-restricted eating, had a 91, not a 9, but a 91% greater increase in cardiovascular disease.
Heart disease.
And yes, heart disease and certain cancers. 91%. I mean, just wrap your head around that.
So why is everybody promoting intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating?
Misinformation. Another example of massive misinformation, Dr. Ed. So we need to break that cycle of dogma and misinformation that people are leading to believe that we are eating too much protein. We're not. We should be eating within a smaller window of time. We should not. We are not eating enough grains. We are. So, there's lots of things that we're doing that we need to change the public education.
So this intermittent fasting became a really big thing. And I've actually started to notice a change in the conversation about intermittent fasting away from it.
Yeah.
But how did that begin to become so dominant?
Yeah, it became dominant because we do have some evidence, scientific evidence, to show that when people restrict their calorie intake, we call it caloric restriction, by 20 to 40%, that's a lot for a lot of people, there is some benefit to longevity, so lifespan, especially certain genes that we have that are favorable to resisting disease, the diseases
that would
of
be
aging.
the epigenetic
that would be an
Dr.
epigenetic.
Joe talked about?
Precisely, yes. So things like diabetes, heart disease, neurodegenerative disease, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia, certain cancers and inflammatory conditions, and then certain musculoskeletal conditions. Those have all been shown to slightly improve, especially in primates. In the extrapolation to humans, we don't have as much scientific evidence, and here's why. Not a lot of people like to be hungry. We call it hangry, right? They're hungry and they're a little bit angry. So it's hard to cranky. So it's hard to sustain caloric restriction. So the alternative that has been offered up is intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting, under its original way of doing it, is to restrict calorie intake for a period of time. Generally speaking, 24 to 48 hours, so 1 or 2 days maximum. On the other days, you're consuming the amount of nutrition that your body would need if you had not undergone those intermittent nutritional fasting days. That's been proven to be highly effective to a certain degree, but we know that there's a way to do it even more effective. And that's what we're here today to talk about. Scientifically evidence-based.
So you're talking lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yeah, it's lifestyle.
All right.
And the time-restricted eating, people have extrapolated the 1 or 2 day intermittent fast into a window of time, eating just within an 8-hour window and doing it every single day. And that's the one that's been shown to not be healthy.
Wow.
So
That's
it's the
really
quality
the
of
narrative,
what...
That narrative is really changing then.
It's changing, yeah, without question. So we're here today to debunk all of those unfounded myths and misinformation and present to you today the science and the proven science based on evidence-based, peer-reviewed scientific investigations. And these two gentlemen have all of the information to be able to help support people on that journey.
And we're going to do that in 1 second. I want you to address something of the importance of what hydration is.
Yeah, hydration. You know, we for years have thought that hydration was primarily about staying hydrated with just water. We know that there's a potential challenge there on several fronts. One is that our water supply is not as healthy as we are sometimes led for it to believe.
And chlorine and fluoride.
Chlorinated, fluorinated, nanoplastic aided. You know, there's so many things. I mean, people that drink, we now know, water out of packaged plastic bottles.
Which is everywhere.
Are everywhere, are consuming the equivalent, Dr. Ed, of 1 credit card a week of nanoplastics. Now, the amounts are going up even higher than that. Yeah, I know, it's alarming. So the more we drink out of plastic water bottles, the more we're exposing our body to these nanoplastics at a level that is startling. We're finding evidence of nanoplastics in people's lung tissue, in their blood, in their fat stores, in their muscle tissue, in their bones. I mean, it's diffusing everywhere. So we know that we have to be real sleuths when we choose the source of water that we are consuming. But here's where hydration becomes even more important. You're not going to be hydrating if you're only drinking water. Water is very diffusible. It passes through osmosis, and it as quickly as we drink it is as quickly as we remove it from our body. So you need electrolytes.
And it can also pull out your minerals and your electrolytes as it's doing that, which creates a problem.
Absolutely dilute a normal, healthy level. So for people watching this, don't be, again, misguided and misled in thinking that the optimal way to hydrate our bodies is with just water. It is not.
You can drink too much water.
100%. Hyponatremia is what it's called, yeah. And that's a real issue, especially for people that are on SSRIs. Those are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor medications for things like anxiety and depression. People that are taking those, yeah, a lot of people are on those. So people who are taking those are at a significantly heightened risk for reducing their healthy levels of electrolytes. It's called hyponatremia, and it's a real issue. A lot more people are walking around with depleted electrolytes and are unhealthy, thinking that water is the solution to keeping them hydrated. It is not.
You know, it's interesting. I lived in Arizona, as you know, and I would hike mountain almost every single day. I could count probably the numbers of days that I didn't hike the mountain.
Yeah, what a great place for that.
Oh,
love it.
I love it too.
We could have a whole nother show on that.
Oh yeah. So I would hike 107, 108, 112 during summer. No problem. The trick was that I hydrated, and I had this routine, adding electrolytes. I did some chlorophyll.
Yeah.
I used pH water of 9.5. There was this trick I had.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the sodium, potassium,
all
chloride.
of that. I never had a problem.
Yeah.
Never had a problem. In fact, there would be warnings. No, you shouldn't hike today. You shouldn't do
Right.
that. I'd go out at noon, And I had another little trick. I had these scarves or hats that I would wet and then wear those. Kept me cool. Never once had a problem. Because hydration is critical.
It's critical.
Yeah.
And you were not using just water.
I was not using just water. No, I had a routine, and you know, I had backpack, and I had all these things in me, and never, you know, I could hike that mountain, talk on the phone.
Wow, that's great.
You know, of course, you never perspire, but you are.
Right.
But you never felt it.
Because you're in balance. You're in
balance.
harmony. You're in homeostasis.
Exactly.
So even while you were at steady state of exertion, your body was in homeostasis because you were doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing. So hydration
I hope that message gets out to the rest of the
hydration
world.
is critical, and that's why I wanted to mention that.
Great.
So you did 38 years of research to develop this program to write these books. I have not read this book, but you told me it was very similar in message to this book. 38 years is a long time. That's a lifetime of research.
It is.
So it's founded. This is not something you made up in a dream.
That's correct.
Yeah. So these two gentlemen here, Dr. Fieber and Dr. Porreca, are going to talk to us about this protocol because you guys are thoroughly involved in this.
Yes.
So I know that Dr. Arciero came up with a program, a blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So is that where you want to start with the blueprint?
Yeah, and I think even before we start into that, I think a really important point with Dr. Arciero's research is he didn't use mice or lab rats, he used humans.
Well, you know, that's interesting that you even bring that up,
that
Joe.
is. That's actually really good.
Because there is a correlation that mice are similar in their metabolism to...
So are yeast. Right? So are yeast.
But they always qualify or quantify it too. You know, we did this research with the mice, but you know, it was not done on humans. So there's almost a little guess factor in there.
A little bit of a leap.
In vitro and not.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
vitro,
This was in vivo. With
humans. You know. So when you really look at the studies done on the human being, you know that they're definitive.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, because you've seen how the results happen. Because some things happen in a test tube don't happen in real life, and some things that happen in mice. Right. You know, it's even interesting. People don't realize this, but every medication out there that's prescribed is based on a 150-pound, 21-year-old healthy male.
Yeah.
I don't care what the medication is, whether it's for a woman or a man or an 80-year-old man or a 20-year-old man. It's all based on that average,
absolutely,
which changes all the time. And then you don't know if that 21-year-old male is doing drugs or drinking alcohol or smoke. You know, none of that's a factor.
A lot of variables.
Yeah, you know.
Exactly right.
So when you do the proper test and you get the proper results, then you have a great basis to go by.
Right. And we've been doing this with a number of people that we've gotten, you know, the results are repeatable. And this looks kind of imposing because there's a number of components on this table, but this blueprint for success that was put together was a collaboration between Dr. Arciero and Peter Greenlaw, and also Dr. Arciero, who's a cellular biologist, a medical doctor, and a researcher. They put this blueprint together so that it's a kind of a paint-by-number program that makes it easy so you don't get confused, like when do I use this product or this product. So this walks you through the whole thing. And if we can, I don't know if we can get this on the screen.
I'm sure we can.
Okay, maybe we can go to the computer screen here. There we go. So that's the blueprint for success. And if we scroll down here, we can see everything, all the details, even down to the thermometer that we recommend, because some of these things that we're going to, what's called incubate your shake, and that was Dr. Ruggiero came up with that. So when you incubate the shake, you're actually able to absorb or utilize 91% of the protein that's in there, versus if you didn't incubate your protein shakes, which could be as low as 15%. So when you incubate the shake, there's digestive enzymes in there that will digest the protein into its individual units called amino acids that we talked about earlier, and that your body can absorb 91% of that. So you get 91% of net nitrogen utilization or protein absorption, 91% protein absorption. So this is where you can, if I can click on that, that tells you where to get the thermometer. That's the actual thermometer there. So every detail is in this blueprint. They tell you which measuring tape to use.
Measuring tape so that you get a baseline of where you are.
Exactly. So you can measure, you measure your arms, your thighs, but primarily you're going to measure around your belly button. That's what you're going to measure, because your body composition can change. You can gain muscle and lose fat, because on this program you'll gain 9% muscle.
So we're not worried about what the scale says so much.
No.
You're worried about what you see in dimension.
Right. Right. So body composition is what percentage of your body is lean tissue, what percentage is fat. And so if you measure around your belly button and that measurement's going down, then you know you're losing fat. And whether it's subcutaneous fat or visceral fat's the dangerous one, doesn't matter, you're losing fat.
Okay, we need to define that. Visceral fat is where?
Visceral fat's around your visceral organs, and even inside the visceral organs, like fatty liver, you have fatty infiltration of the liver. That's like a whole another endocrine organ in your body.
So this fat could actually choke off the organ.
It chokes off the organs. It creates cytokines, which are really inflammatory messengers. It causes inflammation, insulin production.
And we know what damage cytokines can do when they're in abundance.
Absolutely. It causes a prolonged inflammation. Like we talked about, a little bit of inflammation is good, because if I cut my finger, I want inflammation to cause the healing process to begin and to conclude the healing process. But if you have chronic high level or even chronic low level inflammation, that's going to cause problems in your body. So even it's just like having a chronic low-level infection. It's the same thing with this inflammation. If you don't have the right nutrients, like what we're going to talk about here, don't have the right pro-resolvin. So pro-resolvin is what helps turn off the inflammation. But if you have too much visceral fat, you're going to have too much inflammation. No matter what, you're going to have what's called whole body inflammation. So we have to get rid of this visceral fat. And Dr. Arciero showed in 8 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, 8 weeks, 33% loss of visceral.
Yeah,
Wow.
1.5.
8 weeks is not a long time.
No.
We're at our first break.
Okay.
Dr. Joe, we'll be back with these three gentlemen talking about your health and wellness on the Dr. Ed Show. Welcome back. Second half of the Dr. Ed Show. We're here with Dr. Porreca, Dr. Fieber, and Dr. Arciero. And we are talking about health and wellness through nutrition, but that nutrition affects thyroid, brain, heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about support for health and wellness. At the break, Dr. Porreca, you were talking about the program that you call the Blueprint,
Mm-hmm.
and this was written by Dr. Arciero, correct?
And Dr. Greenlaw, Peter Greenlaw, I'm sorry, and Dr. Arciero. Dr. Arciero had a little hand in it also, yeah.
Okay, so is that where you want to pick up on going through the Blueprint?
Originally, yes, but I think, let's take a step back. let me give an overview of this. And let me tell them how the program works. Then we'll go through the blueprint that shows them that it looks imposing with all these things here, but it's really easy to follow. And the blueprint takes them by the hand, step by step through it. But let me just give the 30,000-foot overview, okay?
Okay.
There's 2 types of days with this program. Now, you're not just going to be doing, meal replacement shake powders and cleanse for life juice. You're going to have regular, normal food, healthy food that you buy in the grocery store, and the blueprint will tell you exactly what to buy and what to consume as far as your whole foods, your knife and fork meals. So with the program, you have two types of days. You have a shake day and a nutritional fasting day. On the shake day, you're going to consume two of these high quality protein meal replacement shakes.
And is that this?
That's the Isoline Pro. And it has a very high quality grass fed
Can we get a
whey
little focus in
protein.
on that?
It's part of the protein pacing meal plan.
Which you can read about in your book,
Correct.
Exactly.
Prize Life.
I highly recommend the Prize Life to go along with this program too.
Which
And
you can
this-
get on Amazon, correct, Dr. Arciero?
Correct.
And the blueprint is based off of the Prize Life protocol in there.
Okay.
So you do, on your shake days, you're going to do two of these shakes.
Okay, you say shake days, so you're not doing this every day of the week.
No, you're not. There's
So
going to be some cleanse days.
Do
okay?
this as any meal replacement or breakfast meal replacement?
You're going to start with breakfast with this because it's high quality protein. As Dr. Arciero said, you want to consume that within the first hour of arising so that you put the right raw materials into your body right off the bat to create new healthy cells and repair the old cells. Your body's nothing but a protein factory. When our genes are turned on, what's it producing? Proteins, right? But it has to be the right quality, high quality protein. There's a thing called spike proteins too, right? We don't want that, right? You ever hear that, spike
Yeah,
protein?
yeah. Too much of it. We've heard.
Yeah. But this is very high quality with all of the, what we talked about before, essential amino acids, and even to take it a step further, it's got high quality and the right amount of branched chain amino acids.
Oh, I don't even know what a branch is.
Okay,
What's
branched chain amino acids is what turns on the whole machinery in your cell to create new tissue, like muscle tissue and bone tissue, and it creates, it's called protein synthesis, and it turns on the protein synthesis so you can rebuild your lean, healthy tissue.
So on a day that we're having the protein, the 2 days a week, we're doing this once a day or twice a day?
We're going to do this twice a day, and then we're going to have two healthy meals, and there's going to be snacks in between as part of the protein pacing, because you're going to pace that protein.
Okay, so I get up and I have this in water, juice, what?
Water.
Water.
Yeah. I mean, you can use
Hot water, cold water.
What we're going to do is we're going to incubate the shake, and it's all described here in the blueprint. And you're going to put 100-degree Fahrenheit water. You have a little thermometer. It tells you exactly where to get it. And you let it incubate for 45 minutes. After that, you can put ice in it if you want. You can make it cold after that.
Or you can drink it hot.
Or you could drink it just like that, hot. And
What's it taste like?
what it does, it's very good. This is strawberry. It's excellent. These are some, I've tasted a lot of different shakes, and these are some of the best tasting shakes I've ever experienced. And the digestive enzymes that are in here, it digests the casein, it digests the protein to break
Casein's
down
not
into
good for you for most people.
Casein causes a lot of allergic reactions in people, but it digests that completely, and it digests the protein up, breaks it up into its individual amino acids, so that you can absorb 91% of this protein, versus other protein shakes might be 15% or as high as maybe 25%. But this is very high utilization when you incubate it.
And as a result of that, just real quickly,
Sure.
the benefit of having that incubation and the individual amino acids as they're entering into the gastrointestinal tract in your intestines, that then allows the body to decide where's the best fate, where's the best end destination for those amino acids to go to, based on what we were talking about earlier, what our individual needs are inside of our body.
Very good point. And another thing is the protein, your digestive system is designed so it breaks down the protein into its individual amino acid building blocks so that it can cross the intestinal barrier and enter your bloodstream. So you're not supposed to have little strings of amino acids called polypeptides crossing that barrier. That's called leaky gut. You're supposed to have one amino acid at a time cross. And here's the problem with that. If you have leaky gut, and by the way, this has been proven too by Dr. Arciero to improve the microbiome to heal leaky gut. But if you have a string of 10 amino acids called a polypeptide, it's an undigested part of your food, particle of your food, right? And it passes through the digestive and through your intestinal tract, and it gets into your bloodstream. Your body identifies that as a foreign invader, and it mounts an inflammatory response to it. And if that polypeptide string looks just like the protein in your thyroid, then it not only attacks that string of undigested food, but it'll attack your thyroid, and all of a sudden you have Hashimoto's disorder. Or if it looks like the lining in your knee, the synovial lining, it attacks that, then now you have rheumatoid arthritis. So it's called molecular mimicry. So you've got to have these amino acids broken down into single units, and guess what? When you incubate the shake, it kind of digests it right in the glass for you. So most of that process is done. Your body doesn't have to do it.
So I'm going to do this for breakfast, and then lunch or dinner?
You're going to do this for breakfast, and then you're going to protein paste with a little snack in about 4 hours. Then
what's a snack?
You can have some cottage cheese, or you can have some almonds. You can have one or two of these with some almonds.
What if I don't want a snack?
Well, we recommend a snack because of the fact that you're protein pacing. So you want to put that protein in every so many hours. So if you don't want a snack, then you're going to really love your cleanse days. But
yeah, that's a term I've heard a lot lately, because every Wednesday I go there, I kind of sneak in cookies in the office with Dr. Porreca, and he says, I'm cleansing today.
Yeah, let me talk about this, the protein pacing, though, just to clarify. When you're protein pacing correctly, those 4 meals/snacks, you're eating enough protein, somewhere between 25 and 50 grams at each of those feeding times, that you won't want to snack, because you don't want to in between those 4 hours. You want to give your body downtime. So when you wake up in the morning and you have this, unlikely you're going to be doing anything else in terms of calorie intake until your next meal 4 hours later. When you have your next meal, it can be this again. You can do this for lunch, or you can eat a very high quality protein pacing lunch meal. Say a leafy green, colorful salad with some pasture raised chicken or eggs or beef or chicken or fish. Any other high quality source of protein. You could have even Greek yogurt, grass-fed Greek yogurt, grass-fed cottage cheese, anything that's really high quality that we talked about earlier in terms of the protein. You do that for your lunch. Then you would wait another 4 hours. You wouldn't be snacking in between.
So you're doing this the pacing is
every
every 4 hours.
4 hours. You don't want to be doing anything in between those 4 hour time periods, intervals, because that will, again, elevate your blood sugar to an unhealthy level. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself that downtime in between. And this is the mistake that most people make. They think that snacking is acceptable, and it really shouldn't be. When you're protein pacing, you're eliminating the snacking, drive or stimulus, which is going to be very, very beneficial. And then you're eating a very healthy dinner, leafy green vegetables, high quality protein, healthy fats, avocado, and things like that.
So you're never hungry on this program?
You are not. We've shown a decrease in hunger in our study participants over a 12-week time period, and then we followed them out for an additional year by more than 50% reduction in hunger. That's amazing, Dr. Ed.
And I can actually attest to that, because when I do this program, I'll take this in the morning. And by the way, you don't have to, after 45 minutes, it's at room temperature. And it tastes great to me at room temperature. I never put ice in it. You could also make it at night, and then you can drink it in the morning. That's okay. But you're not hungry. Because you're getting the nutrients you need. And that's why when the snacks he's talking about, these are either snacks that come with this program, but you don't really need them, to be honest with you, other than you need a source of protein.
Or on the cleanse days.
Or on the cleanse days, right.
The nutritional fasting days.
There was a misunderstanding. The snack I'm talking about is the protein pacing every 4 hours.
Right.
So I wake up on Monday.
Yeah.
This is breakfast and or lunch.
And or lunch.
Yes.
Then you have healthy dinner.
Okay.
And then at the end of the night, your last meal of the day, you could either do that again, or there are other high quality protein recommendations that we have built into the program for people.
Right.
How long before I go to bed should I stop eating?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Within 2 hours.
Okay.
Critical, because
so
then
my average day starts at 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
And I generally go to bed by 10.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's only giving you 6 hours, Dr. Ed. I'd like to have you get a couple more.
I'm lucky if I get 5.
Okay.
So I would stop eating. If I went to bed at 10, I'd stop eating at 8.
You would stop eating by 8, yeah, roughly.
And
Yep.
this would be the best thing to do 2 hours prior to that bedtime.
And why am I eating before I go to bed?
Okay.
2 hours before.
The reason why, and this is critical, during the nighttime, that's when our body is rebuilding. It's when it's replenishing, rejuvenating, it's repairing. So if you don't consume a high quality serving of the highest quality protein within that 2-hour time period of going to bed, you've missed an opportunity to rebuild, regenerate, and repair your body.
And you only repair and rebuild when you sleep.
When you sleep. Yeah, that's a misconception. People think it's happening during the day or when you go to exercise.
No, you're tearing yourself apart when you do
You're
that.
tearing yourself apart during the day and when you're moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, good
All right,
point.
So that's day 1 Monday. We're
Yes.
starting
Let's
this
go through the
program on a
schedule on
Monday
this.
because everybody starts on a Monday.
Yes,
Monday's a good-
so
you
if
wanna
we
go-
can cut to the computer, I want to show you this on paper, what we just said. It'll simplify it some. So can we put the computer on? Thank you. So you go to your blueprint, you click on the menu, and here it is, Upon Awakening Breakfast. You have one of these Isoline Pro shakes, and you have a little bit of this. You can add a scoop of this Ionic Supreme powder to it. That's got adaptogens in. That's like the Swiss Army knife of nutritionals. It gives you energy for the day and helps you sleep at night. But those adaptogens are very important to help decrease cortisol, control amount of cortisol in your body. There's a lot of benefits to the ionics. And then you take one natural accelerator, which is kind of it's a metabolism stimulator. There's no artificial stimulants in there. There's a little bit of caffeine from guarana seed, but there's no artificial stimulants in there, overabundance. Then the AM snack that I was referring to is part of the protein pacing program. Is you can do some almonds at one of these a snack tablet. I'll show you when we're back on screen, and then 8 unsalted almonds with the isogenic snack tablet. At lunch, you have a healthy lunch, like Dr. Arciero mentioned. You could do salad with some wild-caught salmon or some other kind of healthy protein. And then another 4 hours, you have a PM snack, which would be, again, a snack tablet with 8 unsalted almonds. And this is just week 1. And then dinner, same thing. You'll have 4 to 6 ounces of protein with a cup of vegetables and some healthy fat. And then for dessert, you can have another isogenic. You can have your second Isoline Pro shake.
Okay, so that's day 1
And 2.
and 2. So you're doing this 2 days in a row.
Yes.
The same protocol 2 days in a row,
Correct.
Monday
Yes.
and Tuesday.
Correct.
Exactly, because we want to flood the body with vital nutrients, minerals, vitamins, protein to get ready for the nutritional fasting day. So on day 3,
Okay. So this is Wednesday, day 3.
day 3 is the nutritional fasting day, and what we do on the fast day is say at early in the morning we do a scoop of the Ionic Supreme, again to help regulate cortisol, help your body deal with stress. Then you're going to have your first cleanse drink, and that's the Cleanse for Life juice. Is a very mineral-rich aloe vera-based shake. It comes from the inner heart gel of the aloe vera plant. So it's not the whole leaf, it's the inner heart gel, which is very important because the inner heart gel is very soothing, healing to the GI tract. The whole leaf can irritate your GI tract a little bit, but this inner heart gel is very, very healthy. And then it goes on through the next, say in a half hour, you'll do a little isogenic snack tablet with the natural accelerator. And as we go through the day, you're going to do the cleanse drink another 3 times, and it's just remember the number 4 always. Like you do the cleanse juice 4 times a day, 4 hours apart, and if you're using the liquid, you're going to do 4 ounces of the juice with 4 ounces of water. So you just remember the number 4. So this blueprint takes you through the whole day, tells you when to drink the Cleanse for Life, when to do your isogenic snack tablet, and you're not eating solid food that day, because if you eat solid food, then those enzymes in your body, even the digestive enzymes included, are going to be used up to digest your food. But if you don't eat, those same digestive enzymes will go around and clean up all the cells of your body. They're used in metabolic cleanup.
Those senescent cells.
Yeah, it'll get rid of the zombie senescent cells.
Senescent cells.
Yeah, it's autophagy, yes.
So when I see you on Wednesdays and you tell me I'm cleansing today, that's what you're doing.
Yes.
That's your Wednesday.
That's what I'm doing, yeah, exactly. And then after you do the cleanse days 2 days, we found it's very beneficial to do it for 48 hours because your growth hormone will increase for 48 hours. After 48 hours, it has a tendency to go down. But you want to do the cleanse, and that's what Dr. Arciero's research was based on, is doing a 2-day cleanse.
So we're doing this Wednesday and Thursday?
Wednesday and Thursday, yeah. And then Friday, you're back to your shake days. And then, as you can see here, it outlines everything you need to do on your shake days. So it's really a paint by number. You can do this on your own, but the nice thing is you'll have Dr. Gary, and you'll have myself and a whole bunch of other professionals that will help guide you through this, answer any questions you have.
So Friday repeats what we did on Monday.
Yes.
What happens Saturday and Sunday?
Those are shake days, so you're gonna do the same thing.
So you're gonna eat the shake along with your solid food.
Yes, and here's in the morning you're gonna have the shake only. In the evening, you could have dinner, and you can use the shake as a dessert.
This is Saturdays and Sundays.
Yes. So there's five shake days. They're identical in between the 2 cleanse days, and on days 12 through 6, after you do your first couple cleanse days, couple sets of cleanse days, then you're going to add a little bit of calories to keep your metabolism up. So you're going to add a few more ounces of.
And that's important because if you starve yourself with low calories, then your body kind of goes and slows itself down.
Exactly.
Because it thinks you're starving and it wants
exactly
to
right.
maintain.
You see these diets out there that you can only eat 500 calories a day. That it was I don't want to. It's HCG diet, that type of thing. You can only eat 500 calories a day. Well, that will lower your metabolism. So you have to keep stoking the fire. You have to keep putting the fuel into the fire to keep that metabolism going.
Well, that's actually the saddest thing that they enforce on the public is cut your calories. Because just cutting your calories.
So you're not calorie counting at all here then?
No, not really, not at all. So I kind of escaped out of there. But what else is very nice on the blueprint is there are videos. Day 1 is a video with Peter Greenlaw. He's interviewing Dr. Arciero, and they're telling you what's happening on day 1, why you're going to drink the shake within an hour of arising, why it's important to start that rebuilding process.
Why an hour?
Well, go ahead, Dr. Arciero.
Well, from what we discussed earlier, your body is transitioning from a rebuilding, repairing state overnight early in the morning to a degradation state again. So you're starting to break your body stores down, especially your protein stores.
I could still have my cup of coffee?
Yeah, in fact, we have some that actually put this into their morning cup of coffee. Yeah.
Strawberry flavored coffee?
Yeah.
I prefer the chocolate flavored coffee.
Or vanilla.
Yeah.
Oh, this comes in chocolate as well?
It's in vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come in vanilla too.
All right.
But that's basically it. Is you have a shake day and a cleanse day.
And how long are we doing this for?
You can do this with the 2 cleanse days up until you reach your goal. It may be a month, it might be 2 months, it might be 3 months, depending on how much weight you want to lose. And then once you hit your goal, then you go to maintenance.
So this is a weight loss program? Or
weight loss is a side benefit.
It's a side effect, but it's a positive side effect.
Right. I mean, you're naturally, when your body goes into homeostasis, you're going to lose weight. So the way you put your body into homeostasis is to give it the right raw materials, right nutrients.
And then you're judging that weight not on what that scale says, but what my clothes say, what
yeah,
my waist
but
is.
Well,
both the scale and your measurements, yeah.
So, if let's say you have a 34-inch waist, will you go down to a 32 on this program?
Quite possibly.
Actually, I just talked to a gentleman Tuesday night who went from a 36 to a 32 waist in 4 days.
That sounds impossible, Dr. Fieber.
It's okay, but he was telling me the truth. Not only that, but see, here's the thing.
I think he might have been constipated.
No.
They cleared him out.
That's another show, Edmund. No, actually, and it's true. I mean, because here's the thing. When I did that by the second cleanse day, the nutritional fasting day, I lost 4 pounds in 2 days. And no, it's not because of just removing what you're talking about. But the inches went
I
down.
need to be full of it for a little bit. But
Well, I learned it from the best in TV and radio. So the point is, and women will lose weight at a little bit different rate.
a little
but-
slower.
Yeah, hormone. But here's the thing: they lose inches. They keep losing inches. Then all of a sudden they'll lose weight. This is from the experience that I've seen with women that I have had in this program. And one of them called me not too long ago and said, I lost 13 pounds on this in 2.5 weeks. I go, and do you have a problem with that? No, actually. But a couple of weeks later, I didn't lose that much. But all those clothes I gave away that didn't fit because I was too big, I should have kept them because she's still losing inches. And you're going to look at weight loss and inch loss, but ultimately when your body starts to shrink in size, even though you may not lose 2 pounds that day or whatever they're thinking, they're still getting an amazing result, and they're so much healthier. They sleep better. They feel better.
Well, here's what I found with women is they don't typically eat enough protein. Men eat more protein than women.
Right.
So when they start putting high quality proteins in the right amounts in their body, they will create muscle. Muscle's heavier than fat. So they might not see a loss on the scale, but they might lose 2-3 inches off their waist.
Easily.
Because it's fat loss.
That scale's not that important the way I see it is
Not.
because
Right.
some of that's related to how much water you're retaining and,
Sure.
Right.
and so forth. That waistline is a big deal because that's
Yes.
a sign of disease or potential
Exactly.
heart problems or
Yes.
visceral fat or whatever that is.
Yes.
It's how your clothes fit on you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what size you're in. That's really the key because like you say, if you're building up muscle, you're going to weigh more than
Right.
if you have belly fat around you.
Definitely the key.
You know what I mean? So you're not going to enter this and say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and that's my goal and that's why I'm doing this? Or do you do that?
A lot of people do it for that reason because they want to get ready for a wedding or something like that. But the reason you do this really is to correct your metabolic dysfunction. Because when you have metabolic dysfunction, if you don't correct that, eventually it will lead to metabolic syndrome.
So that was on my mind to talk about today, and I
Yes.
knew you guys would get to it. Let's talk about the metabolic
Okay.
function because that is
Yes.
an issue. That is diabetes,
I-
syndrome X, as they used to call
Right,
it.
right. And I am very experienced in this because I have it. and I battle this all the time. It runs in my family. Diabetes runs in my family. I don't have
Blame
diabetes.
Grandma. Go ahead, Dr. Joe.
I don't have diabetes, but I have metabolic dysfunction. So, it's
Blame
something
Dr. Ed for
that
bringing those cookies
we're
to the
gonna.
office.
I'm going to use Dr. Arciero's blueprint, and Gary's going to keep me on track. And in a couple months, I'll be way healthier. My biomarkers amazingly are okay, as far as like cholesterol and things like that.
So if you look at cholesterol, and everybody poo-poos cholesterol, and I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you what, that's probably one of the biggest lies in the medical profession.
Yeah.
Unique, everything you have, your brain is 70% cholesterol.
Right.
Every hormone
Right.
made from cholesterol.
Cell membrane.
All right, every cell
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that number. They keep lowering it, just like they do with blood pressure, right?
Right.
But syndrome X or metabolic dysfunction is you can look at that cholesterol panel, and you can see low HDL, high LDL, and high triglycerides. Right away, you know you have metabolic dysfunction.
You have low HDL, high LDL, high triglycerides, and that's definitely metabolic syndrome.
So metabolic syndrome.
Yeah.
Syndrome is generally applied to somebody
Yeah.
by the medical profession to say we don't know what's causing it, or you don't really have a disease that we have a code for.
Right.
That's really what a syndrome is.
So, yeah.
So, but that is an indicator that you're turned pre-diabetic.
Right.
Except that I don't think there is such a thing as pre-diabetes. You're either a diabetic or not. If you have
Yeah, you're right.
you have metabolic syndrome, you were a diabetic.
Yeah, exactly right. So here's the bottom line is, with metabolic syndrome, well, they have three of the five.
I have to interrupt you
That's
because we have 2 minutes left in the show. I
oh,
knew this was
okay,
going to
okay,
go fast.
okay. Yeah.
So we need to know where we get the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me your number, Doctor. Yeah.
Telephone number, it's a cell number. It's 612-750-5553. 612-750-5553.
And that's Dr. Fieber will help you. Dr. Porreca, you can get it from you as well.
Yes, 724-929-6077. Again, that's 724-929-6077. And you'll have all the support. You'll have the blueprint that walks you through it, and you'll have us to support you, and you'll have me to do it along with you.
So you're not. They have the ability not to go online and buy this and say, what do I do with it? You have the ability to actually talk to you guys.
Yes, this is all medically supervised, and it starts with the easy to follow blueprint, and it ends with us if they have questions. And we're there to help.
So you have
them.
the support system.
Absolutely, we have a great support
You have the
system.
research.
We have the credibility right
you have
here.
The design.
Yeah.
You have the blueprint.
Right.
And then you have the backup.
Exactly.
In 45 years in the healthcare world, this is the first time I have ever seen anything peer-reviewed human trial research to indicate that it's doing what it says it's doing.
All right. So you guys are both on the program.
Yep. I'm on it again now.
I'm going to really start on seriously after Easter, and we're going to have a support group
That's
in
when
my
I start
office.
on Monday on a syndrome. I'm going to start my diet on Monday. Gentlemen, we're at the end of the
Next
show.
one.
Dr. Porreca, Dr. Fieber, Dr. Arciero, thank you so much.
Thank
this
you.
was an incredible show. I had fun. I always enjoy it when I have fun with you guys. We can talk too much. We need like a 10-hour show.
Right.
So anyway, you can get the book, Amazon. I suggest that you do. These products from these gentlemen, I suggest you do that too. And you can get a hold of us.
Absolutely.
We're available. Remember, Healthy Pet, Happy Pet. You can hear me live every Saturday morning, AM 1250, The Answer for the Dr. Edge radio show. And two great websites to go to, roseunplug.com, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.